This is my interview with Avital Darman on June the 11th, 2019. So, there we go. What, when you think, as you think about...
I have mixed feelings about measuring impact in this social area, okay? So, but I'm not going to get into it. I believe in education, in social relations, the most important thing is things that people do following encounters with other people, with ideas, with opportunities, whatever. And I think that in this sense, Avichai, in the relatively long time that it was active in Israel and in the Jewish day schools, I hope also in the summer camps in the United States, in Israel, no doubt, made an impact. We saw it very clearly in these summery days in the Carmel.
Right.
To a point that I think that we believe that it's only our graduates of different whatever that run the Jewish world here, which is a total mistake.
Right.
And that if somebody did not go through any of our whatever,
right,
then he cannot be an interesting person, he or she. But I think that we did open many opportunities. We did somehow good people in certain circumstances and know to see the light that can help them. I think that the standards of Avichai office set an example. And without saying, just people knew that you cannot write with mistakes, you have to make it right, you have to make it on time. I think that this is helpful. In the media, it's easy to see a big difference. Shtisel, that's a Netflix. Shtisel in the United States, everybody. Shtisel, no, I think in Israel, because really a big change by it's very chic now to do Jewish. And it really was not 15 years ago.
Right. I agree.
And I think and people are happy with it because they see their stories, they see their, and so I think this is, not everything is the same quality, that we could have done better, we could have, always.
Sure.
But I think that this was a very good decision and very well managed. Piyut is a history already, but it's okay. The idea that learning Jewish, the idea that I'm going to a Bet Midrash once, it became norm, which was not. And this is a big change. I remember years ago that I said, I don't understand why in each of the community centers in Israel, without asking, you know that you will find a judo for 6-year-olds, once a week activity.
Right.
But people would not even imagine to look for a Parashat Shavua, something, as a cultural activity, a cultural reading, and it took time within Avichai to get us to work with the authority or center or something for community centers.
Right. I was just talking with Ellie about that.
And I think that this is a big change. I don't think that we see it all because they operate. Each of them is independent. They have some umbrella organization. It's a
different schedule.
And they depend on bringing in their own money.
Right.
I don't know how much support they get and how they get it. It's a big project to be the head of a community center.
Right.
But I think it became also it's to be expected.
Right.
And this is for adults and for families.
Right.
And this umbrella organization is something that lasts in Israel for many, many years.
Nitzavim.
Not Nitzanim, the community centers.
The community centers, right.
The Association of Community Centers, I think it's called.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
החברה למתנ"סים. And they will continue operating. So Nitzanim is complicated because Nitzanim competes with the money of each of the localities,
right.
And it does not have its own core budget.
Right.
Nitzanim is I'm not sure that, I don't know how it will be sustained.
Right.
But the association of the community centers, they are there.
Right.
One goes up, one goes down, but they are all over,
Right.
all over the country. They have the local sense,
Right.
but they also have some network.
Right.
So I'm happy that Jewish whatever has become part of the things that they offer.
Right. Do you sense that others that I've spoken with say that they believe that when you think about all the things that Avichai has done, it has been together, some terrific, some less than terrific, that it has helped create a new consciousness about pluralistic Judaism that is that makes a difference in the state of Israel.
I don't like this term at all. It's important. I prefer the term that Avichai uses. Jewish Israeliness or Israeli Jewishness, so this combination. Jewish Israeli Jewish, Jewish Israeli.
Yeah.
And for this there are many ways, which is okay. But I think there is enough that combines, that is shared by the different. Pluralistic takes you to the denominations. And it's not my type of feeling. But yes, that there are different ways to be a Jew.
Correct.
If this is the meaning,
that's the meaning.
Then, of course, everyone thinks that his way is the best.
I understand.
I think that people at least acknowledge that it's not the only one.
Right.
That
yes.
This is as far as some of the people can go.
Right. Right.
And maybe sometimes when politics does not tear us apart, they even think that there may be a value in sitting together.
Right.
Sometimes they do it because they have to. They are forced to.
Right.
But sometimes I'm not sure that we reach this, that people see value in the diversity itself.
Yes.
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
No, I think that most people think that their way is the right way.
Right.
But at least they acknowledge that there are others. Some accept it.
Right.
How many think it is better not to have one way?
Right.
I don't know.
Well, you have at least one minister talking about creating a state in which halacha is the God.
He is not yet a minister.
He's not yet.
Democracy is really not in a good shape in too many places. Here it is very problematic. We don't have a tradition of democracy.
Well,
it's very shaky.
Well, listen, it's not surprising that Israel doesn't have it. When you think about England,
yeah, that's what I said. Right? You say England, you say what's happening.
What is going on?
We don't know how to deal with the new media. We don't know how to deal with facts that are not facts.
Yeah.
The idea that the public discourse is a rational one, because this is otherwise it's I believe, you believe, very nice, but it's not a discussion.
Right.
That's not what shapes the views of people now.
Not yet. Yeah.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
And what will be in 10 years, we don't know.
We don't know.
So that's it.
So when you think about,
I can think of two things that I'm unhappy with.
Yeah. Okay.
I think Avichai did not do passionately in two areas that are very dear to me. I think that I told you this also in the previous conversations. One is the joint schools.
Yeah.
We did a lot in order to have more options of Jewish studies in the state schools, but the joint schools we did.
Yeah.
We did through Tzav Piyus.
Yeah.
But we did not put our energy, minds, and hearts into this. I hope that by the time Avichai ends, there will be a track, like there is Mamlachti Dati, Meshutaf.
Right.
I think if Avichai had put its mind and heart in it, could have become reality,
And
and we
what's
did
the
not.
reason for that? I mean, what's the
I'm not
reason?
sure. I know that for me, since this is something that is part of my life, unlike others among the trustees, I never push for things where I'm personally
Sure.
concerned.
Well,
Not so sure, because
yeah,
in Avichai there are different views about this.
I understand that.
But this is my instinct. But nobody in the staff for whom this was the passion.
Right. Well, I know that I just finished talking with Ellie Silver, and he went on at some length about how the Sapiu's effort, to develop and sustain the joint schools idea was still there, and that while it is true that South Pius doesn't have enough money at this point, but nonetheless, they're continuing to fight that battle for the time being. But he seems to be very supportive of it.
Yes, but he was not a program officer for this.
Right, no,
And
true.
we outsourced it to South Pius.
Right,
And the other thing is the joint communities, neighborhoods, or settlements, or whatever. That we also
new communities?
No, new communities. That's well, what is new communities? We have in Natzrat, blah blah blah, Mazkeret Batya. That's to add activities to any kind of yishuv. Do more Kabbalot Shabbat.
Right.
No, there is a community 2 or 3 in cities together.
Oh, yes.
Religious, non-religious.
Right, yeah.
There are like 25 maybe now all over the country. And this is people just living together, building not just a community, but their lives, they work, they do whatever.
Right.
And they have their own, we do it together. And we did not, it was easier to go to some place to say, well, let's do more Jewish studies, let's do events.
Right.
So these are 2 points, but for me, okay, that I live in such a settlement. My daughters went to such a school, and in Avichai we did not push it.
Right.
Okay. Other than that, I think that I would have continued some of the things that we did not support long enough, I think.
I
but,
remember that, yeah.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's
Group decision making.
group with seamless hierarchy.
Right, right,
That's okay.
right.
Sure. Has made my life much easier.
Right.
I did not have to make all the decisions. So you have to accept that some decisions are made by others, and you have to accept the decision as well. That's okay.
Well, one can regret it. You would have wished it had been different.
No.
Yeah.
I could, of the years that I worked,
Right.
I could not have.
Right.
Could not have spent all the time here.
Sure.
Could not.
Right.
In the United States, I thought that it was a big mistake to focus only on Jewish day schools and leave out the majority of the Jews. But this was this I tried until I realized that this is Avichai. It's going to focus on Jewish day schools. Thank someone that summer camps were added and really dealt with well.
Summer camps have been very successful in the United States.
Joel is terrific.
And I gather there's there are summer camps here now too. Yes, not a lot.
There are always all kinds of stuff. But not kids going out of home for a month. That's very rare.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Overnight camping.
So, a week,
Yeah.
a month, no.
Yeah. Well, the movement in the United States has been extremely important and successful. And Avichai's role in bringing Judaism into the camps, where it didn't exist before, is
And Hebrew.
in Hebrew. Yeah.
And Hebrew. And some Israel.
Right.
And Jewish day schools, as long as they continue to be dependent all the time only on private money, This
Right.
is going to be the main challenge.
Right.
They are very good people, but it's crazy.
Well, Avichai's focus really was on the national infrastructure for Jewish day schools.
Nationalism, that's also all those terms that we use differently here and there. Yes, I know that Prisma is a big success.
Right.
Hopefully sustainable.
Right.
It took 3 years, because only when
You're talking about Prisma? To bring them together.
and it only started happening when they realized that otherwise each of them, before they felt it,
Right.
that that's the end. If they don't,
If they don't, right.
each of them tried to continue
I remember.
their way. So it took very long.
Yeah.
Surely a huge effort on the part of the staff there,
Yeah.
and I think I hope
That it will
but
continue, right.
it will be difficult to sustain it
Yeah.
because there are not so many who like to support it, and as everything, it competes on the same pool of money.
Well, that's the problem with it. You know, no other foundation that I know of has really stepped up for the infrastructure support of day schools. It hasn't. It's just not. The local, all of the day schools are supported locally, individually, where they have. But the infrastructure, the training of personnel, teachers,
And preparing
leaders.
materials and ideas, and yeah, you cannot do it all locally,
Right.
but per school. It's
Right, but nobody has so far. Nobody has stepped up to pick up that program.
So I hope that they find a way to continue it for a dozen more years.
Right. Well, and it's possible that some people will come along. I mean, I think Arthur believes that other foundations will see the light and ultimately do it. So far, there's no evidence of it, but it can always change.
Some people say only when Avichai is really out, people will realize what they
Right.
are going to lose. Whether there would be enough time
Right.
to still keep it from drowning, who knows?
Well, but you're seeing some of that. I mean, the film and video stuff that was picked up by Maimonides, for example, is one example of it. There are others.
So all these efforts are part of the things that I'm not doing.
Right.
I don't see the people of Maimonides in somebody else's dinner or something. That's a huge effort that was done by Arthur and Mem.
Yes.
I think Lauren
Yeah.
and maybe others.
Right.
Huge, because and against their nature.
Right. Oh,
So-
I know.
No,
Definitely
that's-
against their nature.
That's why I
Yeah.
I respect it very much.
Right.
Because I can imagine what it takes from Arthur to go and try and sell his merchandise that he cares for
Right. Enough.
emotionally
Yeah.
very much.
Right.
Not easy.
Yeah. I know.
This is not his ambience, and this is not what he has been doing ever in his life.
Right.
So and they really stepped in and did it, and
Yeah.
have been doing it for like 5 years now.
Yes. That's right. That's exactly right, and with some success.
You know that in this world you know it better than any one of us. What is a success? One success is
Right.
you should expect a no.
Right.
You have to come as if you're going to hear a yes,
Right.
and to do the best. But the chances, that's I don't know
Right.
how many people you have to see, and at what level, and it's so this is really Mem, Arthur, Lauren, George, Sam, Leaf, Sam.
Right. Well, that's the way you build something. But you have to reach out and get others to support it, and they've been very good at. It's hard to do what they're doing, but it's beginning to pay off a little bit.
But otherwise, nothing would have been.
That's right.
So on one side, the wisdom and the character to say, okay, we are exiting. 3
Right.
years. This is it's true. We're going out. We shall not be here anymore.
Right.
And not to listen to the 10 times a day. Maybe only one endowment to this very important thing that was that's this is huge.
Yeah, I agree.
That's leadership, and they have it.
Right. Well, I like your sense of serenity with situations, that you can't deal with. There's enough. You can't get everything done, and my sense is that you have resolved yourself on some, getting done the things you can get done, and not worrying about the things you couldn't get done.
Well, not to worry is too big a demand.
Right.
I still keep the right to worry,
Right.
but I acknowledge the work and the successes.
Right.
And I know that there must be failures.
Yes.
This is it.
Yes. How long is the Trump Foundation's life? Was it a 20-year foundation, or
It was supposed to be 10 at the beginning.
it was? I thought it was 10.
But I think that they are now on the 8th, and I don't know that they are on the 7th. Don't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I think, if I'm not wrong, I don't follow the details. So I don't know. But I think that it was supposed to be substituted by an institute for, I don't remember what kind of learning it is, what's the
STEM.
adjective now.
Right, STEM.
No, but it's not some kind of learning, some learning and teaching. I don't some.
Right.
And I think that this needs the agreement with the ministry, and I don't know that they have somebody to talk. And it falls in bad times now.
Right.
But I think that they are building it, and I'm not sure whether this will substitute or will be the only thing that they will do afterwards.
I see.
I'm not sure.
But the only thing they've been doing has been STEM education, right?
STEM education, they started only on the higher
Higher
secondary,
grades.
and they moved
And the middle school, they went
to
to
junior, to middle school.
Yeah.
But the theme, it's STEM, not all STEM, but mathematics, physics, and then
Right.
and through the teachers.
Right.
This was the special thing.
Yeah.
It's not by producing materials or it was
Right.
through the teachers.
It's training the teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's an important story. So, are there any other things that you'd like me to ask you about?
Was wondering yesterday, I'm going to meet Professor Fleischman, and I did not get 3 pages of background and 1 page of 20 questions. And I said to myself, I did not get them, so I'm not going to ask anything. I'm just going to come like this, and that's what I did. You see, I'm a retiree, I told you.
Right.
I made friends in Avichai.
Right.
Among the staff, among the trustees, it's very special. People whom I would not have met otherwise. So this is part of what I take with me. And נראה. בית אביחי is vivid and interesting.
Right.
I think it is a very good, the idea that there is a place to which the money that is left, if anything is left more than, and that it is this, is great.
It was, I think, an important decision. It's the only foundation that I know of that decided to spend down and had a vehicle, so they didn't have to spend all the money.
Yeah. So this
So whatever's left over goes to that.
So this helped this resistance to maybe a small endowment to Pardes.
Yeah.
No, all the money, if there is any money left, all goes to Bet Avichai, and they'll make the best use of it, and that's our heritage, and that's good.
So it was an important decision.
Yeah, it helped the sunsetting.
Yeah, and that's my sense of it, and it's it's one of the I think it's great. It's a very imaginative way of dealing with the problem, because otherwise, if you really go out of existence completely, the temptation is just to give the money away wholesale, and not with the same kind of standards that you've always done
Yeah,
it.
because what? I'm going to leave money and not use it now. So
Correct.
here,
That's
you know,
exactly-
so
that's right.
I think this was a very, yes, very good decision. Still, here in this building, to have, in the last 10 years, two organizations, one sunsetting and one flourishing,
Right.
demanded a lot of human attention.
Right. Sure.
No,
Yeah.
it can tear you apart.
Right. Yes.
At the beginning, it was what do they serve in the meetings,
I remember. I remember.
and they managed it.
Yeah. They
And
did.
it took the leadership of the heads of the directors of the Bet Avichai not to let themselves be flooded with. Maybe this can just be part of but to create their identity and say
Right.
no, and if there is something, we shall see and we shall do it our way. So I think that it was a very clever and helpful idea, but it took more effort. During the years here.
I remember watching the differences
Okay.
simmer. Yeah. Yeah. But
You see, Danny left Avichai in order to go to Bet Avichai.
yeah.
Okay, so
Have you stayed in touch with Danny?
he was in the Carmel.
Oh, I knew that. I didn't see him.
It was
I only
a
there-
part of the time. Not really, not because of Bet Avichai, but since he left Shearim, I see him,
Yeah.
but I don't call to
Right.
sit for coffee together.
Right. Right.
No, he's a very special, creative. Look what he did here between
Yeah.
Tzav Pius and the media, and there are many things that without him would not have happened.
I agree. He's a terrific guy. I like him a lot.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah. So it's not a no credit.
Right.
I appreciate a lot.
Yes.
I think that personally, chaval that somebody lives with such a. But when one feels that he or she cannot stay because
Right.
it's not right, then it's
Yeah.
better to leave.
Yeah. Well, you're right. He had a mind of his own.
I hope that Shearim would become reality because I think we need it.
Yeah.
And it's had we been successful in this,
Right.
it would have helped a lot.
Well,
Many of the things that are staying now like this, but okay.
the problem is, everything takes a leader, and if you can't find a leader, my sense is they tried to get. You know more about this than I do, but my sense is that they never got Shalim off to the right start with on a continuing basis, where leadership was in the wings if it was needed.
I think, to my knowledge, had Danny stayed
Yeah.
in a good mood,
Yeah.
they would have done terrific. They could have done terrific work.
Right. One hopes so.
Anyhow, this did not happen, and Shearim does not exist, and that's all.
Well, thank you.
So you are going to write and write and write. It's going to be the 2019 report
It is the final report.
that summarizes. What form is it going to be?
It'll be in the same kind of form that the preceding reports were on the annual basis. But I'm interviewing everybody and trying to make some judgments on summarizing what people think about the distinct contributions of Avichai Foundation over its life.
You took upon yourself a huge task. Was it worth the time?
Remains to be seen.
No, because it took like every year for 10 years, 7 years, 10?
I think it was actually either 8 or 9 annual reports. Yeah,
So, and it took a bunch of your time in these years.
absolutely. It took about 2 months a year.
So, thinking of it?
Well, I've learned a lot. I mean, you know.
Okay, that's.
I've learned a lot.
We'll charge you.
And I wouldn't have been working. My last book really focuses on the question of spin downs and what they can learn from other spin downs, and the final report will deal with that question. I think about what can other foundations that are spending down learn from Avichai's experience, and I think that Avichai has set a very high standard in decision making and in policies with respect to running. I think it's the best run foundation in Israel, and one of the best run foundations I know of anywhere.
I was privileged to be a beneficiary of Yad HaNadiv, as you may recall.
I do remember.
And they still remember. It hung on a wall in my office for many years. Maybe I wrote something to Ariel Weiss, maybe 25 words in an email, and the response was maybe 75 corrections, changes, something like this. So high standards, good work, goodwill, write the tough, something that we are not very good at, Avichai. When you see that something is may go in not the best direction, and it's somebody you like, and it's part of the, I'm not sure that we were critical enough. And on the long run, the person pays, and
Right.
and the foundation pays. I'm not sure that Yad HaNadiv is not firmer, and that this is not better.
Right.
The other place that I know some Mandel,
Right.
and I'm happy that I don't have to understand how they work.
Well, it's all understanding how Mandel's mind works.
That's a big enigma for me. So I remember there was a minute when I said to myself, you're never going to understand how it works, so just let go.
Right.
That's it.
Well, you have that capacity in other things. It is. I mean, I've known Mort for a long time, and have dealt with him, and I don't begin to know how his mind works. All I know is it works, and it works.
No, it works, and it does terrific things, and you can. No doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, but I still don't understand. It's not really relevant to our conversation, but I don't understand.
You can turn it off.
Yeah, I'll turn it off.
Time to turn it off.
It's to look at how to do this.